Right now at 10, preparing for the unthinkable. What to do during a mass shooting or attack.
So don't run into a bathroom that's unable to be locked, because now you've trapped yourself.
Advice that could save your life.
And the story that has some men on social media angry at a popular local movie chain. The Nightbeat starts now.
Breaking news right now at 10. Two planes at Austin Bergstrom International Airport clipped wings while trying to taxi at the gate. Both planes' wings are damaged, but nobody was hurt.
One was an American Airlines flight coming in from New York. It's not clear yet where the other, a United flight, was coming from. The spokesman for ABIA says all the passengers have gotten to their gate safely.
Now to new developments in the deadly bombing in Manchester, England.
Investigators have made at least 7 arrests, including Salman Abedi's father and 2 brothers. Libyan authorities claim Abedi's younger brother confessed to planning his own attack and spoke with Abedi 30 minutes before the concert bombing.
And authorities say the intricate device Abedi used is similar to the bombs used by ISIS in Brussels and in Paris. When British authorities searched Abedi's home, they found a bomb-making factory and plenty of materials to carry out another attack.
We're hearing more and more about these kinds of mass terror events, and many still think it can't happen to me.
That's exactly what a Pulse nightclub shooting victim thought right before she was shot 4 times. So tonight we're helping prepare you for the worst.
The Nightbeat's Chris Betts has some advice that could just save your life. Chris?
Aquita, every time there's an active shooting in the U.S., a specialized unit at the Austin Police Department debriefs to learn what happened, what went wrong, and what went right. But tonight we have their advice for you. We're talking about soft targets. It's where you work, send your kids to school, go to church, see movies, or have drinks. They are closed spaces with multiple entrances and a large group of people. So if there's an active shooter, you need to have a plan and teach your children that plan to survive. The music, the drinks, the crowds. In Austin, it's the perfect recipe for a Saturday night out. But on Saturday, June 11th, 2016,
oh my God,
it would turn into the recipe for a killer's perfect target.
Bam, 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 bam.
There was bodies everywhere.
You can just hear him gurgling for his life.
50 people killed.
Unbelievable what this man did.
53 injured.
Unbelievable and disgusting what he did to all of us.
At a packed nightclub in Orlando, Florida.
My son, he got shot 3 times.
You could just smell the gunpowder from how many times he was just unloading on everybody.
Amanda Grau survived the Pulse nightclub shooting, the worst mass shooting in modern U.S. history, but not without her scars. Grau was shot by terrorist Amar Mateen 4 times.
That they were going to hear the sounds of gunfire, and they're going to see people running who are bleeding and scared and who are pointing towards where that shooter may be.
Welcome to the Austin Police Academy's active shooter training facility.
To get their stress level up, their heart rate up.
Where around every corner,
shoot back at them with rubber bullets.
There's a potential threat.
I think that's probably as real as you can make it.
To neutralize.
And they hurt, and they're being fired from a very close range.
The paint spray in this corner where a would-be active shooter was taken down. The bullets may be fake, but the scenarios are very real.
No, there's no pay incentive. The incentive is that these officers are all very motivated and they want the elite training.
Lieutenant Jason Bryant is part of the CAST unit at APD. That's Counter Assault Strike Team, formed after Columbine.
Really? Have you heard of
Active shooter training changed drastically after the shootings at Columbine High School in Littleton, Colorado, revealing the standard police procedure for dealing with shooting rampages in the U.S. was tragically, heartbreakingly flawed.
shots fired at high school?
Now, instead of waiting for an elite response team, any responding officer will rush toward gunfire, stepping over bodies and bleeding victims if necessary to stop the gunman first. So what should you do if you're enjoying a night out and suddenly shots are fired? The first step, Bryant says, acknowledge the threat.
I've actually talked to a survivor of an active shooter event who told me that she heard gunshots probably a full 30 minutes before she was actually then confronted by the shooter. They had a debate as to whether or not they were gunshots, but they never did anything about it.
Leave as soon as you even perceive a threat. Don't wait to be sure. Look for emergency exits or a window.
leave and just keep leaving. Like, there's no need to walk out the door and then stop or run to the parking lot and stop. The more distance you create between you and an active shooter, the safer you're going to be.
If you can't leave the building, hide, barricade yourself behind something that locks, like a bathroom, a classroom, or a closet.
So don't run into a bathroom that's unable to be locked, because now you've trapped yourself.
And if you're too close to run or hide,
you need to fight, and to fight with everything that you have.
Run, barricade, fight. It could just save your life.
About 20% of would-be active shooters are subdued by their would-be victims.
And if you think it can't happen here in Austin. Did I go? In 2014, a shooter opened fire downtown.
10-4, still shooting.
Firing hundreds of rounds into buildings.
Suspect reloaded, about to open fire again.
Including APD headquarters.
We need to evacuate the main.
In 2015, a shooter opened fire inside the Omni Hotel downtown, killing an innocent man.
He just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time.
In each case, the gunmen were stopped by Austin police officers.
Suspect laying down on the ground.
Trained to respond and now willing to train you for a worst-case scenario. Amanda Grau says if she could go back, she would have run straight out the back of the Pulse nightclub after Omar Mateen shot her for the first time, and she would have kept running instead of running into the bathroom where there were no locks, and she was shot 3 more times. Now, here's a question that we have heard a lot. What about concealed carry? Well, when it comes to how you protect yourself, Lieutenant Bryant had this to say.
So I would encourage any citizen who chooses to exercise that right to go out and get as much training privately as they can so that they understand the full ramifications of using their firearm in a self-defense type situation.
To have CAST come to your bar, school, office, or church for free active shooter training, you can click on this story on KVUE.com.
The reality is, it's my bill. My positions on these things are well known.
That is State Representative Garnet Coleman vowing to kill his own bill. The lawmaker says his measure, a catch-all bill that allows counties to continue carrying out certain duties, was corrupted by some slick moves in the Senate. Overnight, senators tacked on amendments to the bill. They added the controversial Senate Bill 6, known as the bathroom bill, and SB 2, a property tax cap for cities and counties. Coleman does not support those issues and says that's why he's now killing his own measure. And a bill to reform the state's school finance system has hit a roadblock. The Senate made some major changes to the House bill, cutting out money for students and adding in education savings accounts or vouchers. The bill's author says he will not accept the Senate's version. Instead, he wants a conference committee to try to work out the differences. But the lieutenant governor now considers that bill dead.
The debate over whether UT stabbing suspect Kendrix White can stand trial continues. No decision was made today on the outcome of White's second mental evaluation. The next hearing is set for June 9th. White is charged with murder in the stabbing spree that left 1 student dead and 3 others injured. A campaign for mental health treatment here in Austin says the repeal of the Affordable Care Act could hurt services and treatments. The OK to Say campaign says 9 out of 10 Texans think it's hard to talk about mental health issues. Yet 3 in 4 have a friend or family member that has struggled with mental health.
The numbers are 1 in 5. So 1 in 5 Americans in this year are going to be impacted by a mental health issue. That's a higher prevalence rate than diabetes, cancer, asthma.
Austin Mayor Steve Adler is calling on Congress to protect mental health coverage. Today, the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office's report finding the health care bill that narrowly passed the House this month would have a major impact on Americans. It would reduce the federal deficit by $119 billion over the next decade, but would leave 23 million more people uninsured. It would also become more difficult for people with pre-existing conditions to get coverage. The Senate is starting on a new bill from scratch.
It is one of the oldest urban legends out there, and it's once again gaining attention. It has to do with flashing your headlights and gang initiations. But is there any truth to it? The Nightbeat's Michael Perchik went to verify the claims.
We received a message from a viewer earlier this week about an alleged gang initiation to watch out for. It stated that a blood gang member under initiation drives with their headlights off, and the first vehicle to flash their lights becomes a target. The note was printed under letterhead from Chubb Electronic Security. For this piece, we spoke with the Austin Police Department and heard from Chubb Security. So first, is APD aware of this rumor?
I've
well aware of it. I believe it first surfaced, I think I was still in college in 1993 or 2 when it first was publicized. I think the original one, there was even fax machines sending it around.
APD Sergeant Robert Hawkins said social media has helped breathe new life into these tales. But is there any truth to it?
No. It's been documented as an urban legend throughout the U.S. and specifically in Austin. I've been a police officer for 22 years, and there's been not a single incidence of anyone falling prey to violence due to flashing their lights at someone, and specifically not with gang members.
Chubb Security, the firm that allegedly posted the warning, said they had nothing to do with it and urged people to stop sharing it. So while we can verify this posting is false, we wanted to know if there's any evidence of gangs targeting members of the public in Austin.
There has not been any specific patterns of violence directed against citizens. It seems like most of the predatory violence between gang members is amongst themselves.
In fact, Hawkins said gang violence here is lower compared to cities of similar size, pointing to Austin's economic well-being as a key factor. I'm Michael Perchik, KVUE News Daybreak.
So do you have something you'd like for us to verify? Just send us an email at verify@kvue.com.
Now that is Walker Lukens kicking off the unofficial start of summer at Zilker Park. It was a beautiful night for Blues on the Green. It started as a celebration of the blues, but has evolved into a diverse showcase for Austin-based artists of all genres. Now celebrating 27 years, it's the longest-running free concert series in Austin.
The parking's free and this is free, and you can kind of go around, and plus it's Austin, so no one's really a stranger. You can walk up and talk to anybody if you came by yourself.
Zilker celebrates its 100th birthday this year. To celebrate, volunteers will pass around big yellow donation buckets. The money raised will go to specific park projects. Blues on the Green has 3 more events planned between now and August.
Always a good time.
Well, coming up, a special screening of a new blockbuster movie. It's not sitting well with some men. Why they're so angry at a local movie chain.
And an East Austin mural that was painted over being brought back to life. How soon you'll see the iconic scene once again.
Well, high temperatures today, just above average at Bergstrom, 87 degrees at Kent Mabry. Started off in the 50s this morning, including a record low, 54 degrees at the airport. Milder tonight, a lot more humidity starting tomorrow. We'll talk about dangerous heat for the end of the week next.
A special screening of Wonder Woman is causing quite the commotion online.
Alamo Drafthouse is hosting a special viewing party for women only. And tonight, Jason Puckett says some men, they're not very happy about it.
Well, Mike and Quita, I got to put my nerd hat on because I'm going to explain some comics. See, there are some parallels to the actual movie here, and I happen to know enough to explain them. The main character, Diana, Wonder Woman, comes from an island of all women. And when a man arrives, well, like today, that's when things get a bit dramatic. On this Wednesday night, there are dozens gathered at a beach on Lake Travis to watch an early screening of Baywatch. It's just one of the many events the folks at Alamo Drafthouse put on every week.
At Tough Guy Cinema, we've got girly night screenings across the board. We're here at Baywatch on the beach right now. We have a Pirates of the Caribbean boat party this weekend.
That's Morgan Hendricks, creative manager for Alamo, and with the new movie Wonder Woman coming out on June 2nd, she says they were looking for a fun theme.
How do we create a land of Amazonian women? Oh, we just hold a women's only screening. She lives on a woman-only island. She comes from the land of only women. This makes perfect sense.
Well, that answer didn't make perfect sense to a number of folks online. Just look at the Facebook comments. Some saying things like, quote, can you imagine the anger and outrage if a theater did an all-male screening? Or, quote, imagine the blank storm if there was any male-only showing of any kind. One man even offering to pay the first men to pretend to identify as women to get in. Well, Hendricks tells us they certainly weren't expecting that sort of response and that they never wanted to make anyone feel excluded, but that this sort of movie is a milestone.
The fact that we're finally getting a Wonder Woman movie, when we've had years of other types of superhero movies, that's enough reason to celebrate.
And it seems like a lot of folks do agree with her. Tons of positive comments on Facebook as well. The screening's almost already sold out, and they're already considering opening another theater. Jason Puckett, KVUE News, Nightbeat.
Highs in the 80s today. We've got 90s in the forecast, but really the most interesting part of our forecast the next couple of days, the amount of moisture in our atmosphere. It's going to be pretty humid starting tomorrow night. Factor in that humidity with the heat. We've got triple-digit heat indices for the end of the week. But for tomorrow, still relatively dry air mass. We'll start off in the 60s in the morning, sunshine, 90s in the afternoon, and then that humidity, you'll start to feel it by tomorrow evening. High pressure, which was right on top of the area earlier today, now shifting back off towards the east. That's allowing for that conveyor belt of moisture off the Gulf of Mexico. So here's a check of the dew point forecast, that moisture forecast. Tomorrow morning still feels pleasant. And then as we head into the afternoon and evening, watch the moisture climb. Anything above 60-degree dew points is humid. And as you get into the upper 60s, that's when it gets uncomfortable. And that's what we're expecting on Friday. Highs in the 90s on Friday, dew points near 70, making for heat indices near 105 both Friday afternoon and Saturday afternoon. So some dangerous heat for the first half of the holiday weekend. Luckily, we'll start to get some rain chances into Sunday and Memorial Day. That's going to trim down those heat indices. But dangerous heat. Got to hydrate here Friday and Saturday in particular. Temperatures at the top of the hour, upper 60s and low 70s. By morning, we're going to be looking at low to mid 60s, so not as cool as this morning's 40s and 50s. By noon tomorrow, we're in the 80s, and we're topping out in the 90s tomorrow afternoon with a breeze out of the south. Clear sky, 63 degrees for tonight. Pretty pleasant evening. 93 for tomorrow. Breezy south wind at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Most locations staying in the low 90s for highs tomorrow. Grass pollen in the low count for tomorrow. Elevated amounts of mold. Your allergy forecast from the KVUE Storm Team found every day in the Austin American-Statesman. Okay, yesterday evening, fantastic double rainbow. Look at this. Over the Texas State Capitol. Mark Atkinson sending in this photo. Keep sending in your photos. We've got the last couple of days of May. We're going to announce a winner on the last day, May 31st. So keep sending your photo. Snapshot at KVUE.com. Okay, high pressure building in. That's why we got a quiet and pretty hot weather pattern tomorrow through Saturday. And then as we head towards Sunday, another front will move in. We've added a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. Lingering rain chances Monday, Tuesday, even Wednesday of next week. So tomorrow, even though we're in the 90s, I think the best of the next few days, if you have some outdoor plans, morning clouds, afternoon sun, highs in the 90s, heat indices above 100 both Friday and Saturday. Chance of thunderstorms at 40% Sunday. Couple of showers still on Memorial Day. Scattered activity Tuesday and lingering showers a week from today for Wednesday. So there's that weather pattern change as we head into the first couple of days of June.
I don't think the rain's going to really ruin anyone's Memorial Day.
Okay, good.
I know, I'm serious. I don't think so.
Well,
people are going to be out there doing whatever they want to do regardless.
Plan. How about that?
Always have a backup plan.
Hey, and if you're off of work, I mean, that's a good day right there.
Right.
So
we'll all be here, right? We'll be here.
We'll be here.
Thanks,
all right,
Albert.
Thanks, Albert. Well, New Braunfels police revving the engine to their new car that you'll want to see.
And the future looks colorful for a blank wall in East Austin. The original artist of a large mural at 12th and Chacon Streets that was painted over earlier this month has been asked by the building's owner to repaint the original. As for what the new mural will depict, the store owner and artist Chris Rogers are discussing that today and tomorrow. Many people voiced concern after the mural, which depicted famous black musicians like Michael Jackson and Tupac, was painted over with white paint.
Hey, check this out. New Braunfels PD has a new cruiser, a 2007 Chevy Corvette Z06. The police shared the photo on their Facebook page. They say the car was seized during a large meth bust in June 2011 and was awarded to them 2 years later. It has about 1,005 horsepower, but it won't be used on the streets. Instead, you can find it at local parades and community outreach programs.
All right, I want to know how fast that baby can go.
Yeah, probably. You know, there's probably a lot of officers when they got that, they're like, oh, I don't get to drive it.
Not on the streets.
Not on the streets. They could catch anybody.
Exactly. You can't outrun that guy.
That's right. But, you know, I guess that makes sense. You give you give a Corvette to one cop, you got to give all of their fleet Corvettes, and who can afford that?
Let's talk a little golf real quick. Jordan Spieth is looking for some answers.
And get off that bogey train I've been on.
He tells us about another change in his game when KVUE returns.
Don't miss it. Don't miss it. Is that a wild swing? But missed it left.